So, GPT-5 is here, and its release has completely shaken up the AI market. It's not just about who has the smartest model anymore. Oh no. OpenAI has fired a major shot, and it's all about a new kind of competition: pricing. So let's break down what this really means for you, especially if you're building things with AI.
For the longest time, the race was all about raw power, right? Who had the most capable, the most intelligent model. But now, the battle for AI dominance is being fought on a completely different front: your wallet. The smartest model isn't always the best choice if it's going to break the bank.
All right, here's the game plan for this explainer. We'll kick off with the new price war. Then we'll decode the price tag so you know how you're charged. We'll see the flagships go head-to-head, talk about spending smarter, look beyond the sticker price, and wrap it all up with your winning strategy. Make no mistake, we are in a full-blown AI price war. The big players, we're talking OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, are in this fierce race not just for the best performance, but to prove to everyone that they offer the absolute best value for your money.
And this means that if you're a developer or a business, you got to be laser focused on this new gold standard, the price-to-capability ratio. It's all about finding that sweet spot, balancing the power you need with the price you can actually afford, especially when you start scaling up. But before we can really compare these heavyweights, we need to get on the same page about how they actually bill you for using these incredible tools, because it's definitely not as simple as just a flat monthly fee.
Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to these little things called tokens. You can think of them as pieces of words, basically the building blocks for every single question you ask and every answer you get. Now, you're charged for input tokens, that's your prompt, and you're also charged for output tokens, that's the AI's response. And here's the key: output is almost always more expensive.
Okay, so this table right here, this is the battlefield. It lays out the cost per million tokens for all the top models. Let your eyes drift to the ones in bold: OpenAI's GPT-5, Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro, and Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.1. You can see right away the prices are all over the map, right? And that's exactly what we're here to unpack. All right, let's get to the main event: the head-to-head comparison between the most powerful, top-of-the-line models out there. This is where OpenAI's whole strategy becomes crystal clear. Would you look at that? GPT-5 and Gemini 2.5 Pro, they have the exact same price tag: $1.25 for a million input tokens, $10 for a million output tokens. This is not a coincidence, folks. This is a strategic move. OpenAI is making a direct play for Google's customers, basically saying, why go with them when you can get our best model for the exact same price? And then you've got Anthropic. Wow. Their top model, Claude Opus 4.1, is playing in a completely different financial universe. We're talking a staggering 12 times more expensive for what you send it, and about 7.5 times more for what it sends back compared to GPT-5. It's being sold as a super premium, high-performance, high-cost option. So how does this actually translate to your monthly budget? Well, let's imagine a pretty standard workload. Using either GPT-5 or Gemini, you're looking at about $300 a month. Not too bad. But that exact same workload on Claude Opus, that would set you back a whopping $2,700. That is a 9 times bigger bill for the same amount of work. Ouch. But here's the thing. You don't always need a Ferrari to go to the grocery store, you know? Using a top-of-the-line flagship model for every single little task is just burning cash. And this is where the smaller, budget-friendly models become a total game changer. For tons of common jobs, think quick customer support chats, sorting data into simple piles, generating basic text, or really any routine task you do a million times a day. A smaller, mini, or nano model isn't just good enough, it's the smarter financial choice.
And the savings are they're mind-blowing. By right-sizing your AI, by picking a nano model for a simple task, you could literally slash your costs by up to 95%. Let that sink in for a second. 95%. For a lot of businesses, that's not a small tweak. That's the key to making AI sustainable at scale.
Okay, so we've covered the basics. But to really master this, you have to look beyond the simple price list. There are some hidden factors, sneaky little things that can inflate your AI bill if you're not paying close attention.
So here's a little insider knowledge for you. First, token efficiency. Is the model kind of wordy because a chatty AI uses more tokens, which costs you more money? Second, thinking tokens. Yeah, you heard me right. Some models actually bill you for their internal reasoning steps. Third, prompt caching. Can you get a discount if you send the same complex prompt over and over again? And fourth, latency. How fast is it? A slow model can frustrate your users, and that has its own business cost, doesn't it?
All right, let's bring it all together. The winning strategy here isn't about picking one best model and using it for everything. It's about building a flexible toolkit and matching the right tool to the right job.
So you should choose the flagship GPT-5 if you need that top-tier quality, but at that really competitive Gemini matching price. It's also the clear winner if you're working with huge amounts of text in your prompts and you're just more comfortable in the OpenAI ecosystem.
On the other hand, you go for a GPT-5 Mini or Nano if saving money is your absolute #1 priority. These are the workhorses for those high-volume, low-complexity jobs where you need a good enough AI that won't destroy your budget. It's the path to extreme cost efficiency.
So when would you pick Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro? Well, it's a total no-brainer if your company is already living and breathing inside Google's cloud platform. That seamless integration can be a massive win. It's also a powerhouse for tasks that need to understand both text and images.
And finally, the luxury option, Claude Opus 4.1. You choose this model when you need the absolute best, most exceptional reasoning power on the market, period. And you're willing to pay that hefty premium for it. If your work involves a lot of repetitive, complex prompts, its caching feature can also help soften the blow to your wallet. And that really brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. It's not about just picking the cheapest option on a list. The real savings, the real genius move, comes when you precisely match the model's power level to the complexity of your specific job. And that leaves us with one final question for you to chew on. As you build your own projects, are you optimizing just for raw performance? Or are you building a smarter strategy that delivers true, sustainable value? The answer to that question will define your success in this new era of AI.